Madam Speaker, I'm very proud to rise in the House today in support of the bill and one of the co-sponsors for Bill 19, an act to improve the affordability and accessibility of post-secondary education. This bill is very close to my heart because when I came to Canada with my family, when we immigrated to Canada, one of the biggest excitements for me was to pursue higher education, in particular post-secondary education. I would like to quote something from an article that has been written by the President and CEO of Lumina Foundation. His name is Jamie Marisotis, and talking about how important post-secondary education is, he says that it isn't just about jobs and economic success. When it comes to building a fulfilling life, good jobs and careers are certainly necessary, but they're not sufficient. Intangibles matter too, things like personal growth and citizenship and the commitment to equity and social justice. And post-secondary education contributes significantly in all of these areas. In fact, statistics show that individuals who have earned post-secondary credentials are healthier, live longer, and are more deeply engaged in civic and community life than those who lack credentials. So talking about providing a platform to students and making sure that higher education is affordable to them and accessible to them is basically saying that we are making a big difference to make the life of Albertans better. Our government always stands up for fairness. It stands up for every Albertan, and it stands up for protection of every Albertan. And by this bill, and by discussing this bill and moving it forward, we are making sure that our objective of improving the affordability of adult learning is achieved, which is crucial for the progress of our society. We need to keep costs of higher education under control so that it gives more certainty and predictability when it comes to affording post-secondary education. When it comes to universities and colleges, the engagement of students is very important. When there is no voice of the students at the table of discussion that how their overall experience is going to be like for the universities and colleges they're going to sign up for, then basically the institutions are missing a big piece of how they can make a difference in their lives. When people are committing to pursue higher education, it is a long-term commitment. It could vary from taking a course for a few months to the point where the education would be for a number of years. So it's a very it is a commitment that a student makes every time he or she applies, or when they apply for a university and get admitted into it. So it's making sure that education is something that is evolving with time and all the time, and to keep up ourselves with education will be doing justice to the students by preparing them that how the future is unfolding and how they can have a good control when it comes to navigating their own lives by choosing the program they're in, and how they can prepare themselves financially to plan their education to ensure that they meet their objectives, they complete their degrees, diplomas, or certificates. Therefore, this bill is a very important and does have complexity because it does involve a lot of matters and a lot of issues that need to be addressed, and they have been overdue when it comes to addressing those issues. That's why our government has been engaging massively with students from all over the province, with students from different walks of life, so that we can ensure that we are addressing the barriers the students are facing, so that we can allow them to have access to post-secondary education, making sure that we listen to their concerns and how we can improve our system, which is an ongoing process because our needs are changing on a daily basis. So to make sure that we are able to provide the high quality education that is advanced and that is addressing the issues that are taking place in a given time, we need to be providing them the modernized system. So that's why this bill is bringing that modernization to the system to abide with the needs of our students in this time frame. So that's why a lot of time was taken to be thorough and to do consultations with the stakeholders when it comes to compiling this bill together. So this bill is basically a compilation of the discussions and feedback that have been received from the stakeholders by our government. Our government heard clearly in our consultations that affordable adult learning needs are carefully constructed and are solution-based approach. They're based on the solution-based approach. We came to a solution that will work now and in the future. To avoid uncertainty during the process, we extended the tuition freeze. The administrative change is to streamline the process for initiating a freeze instead of having to amend the regulation. It means the government can respond more quickly if economic circumstances change and a freeze is necessary. Considering the fact that the changes happen very drastically, and we want to make sure that every time a change happens, it's addressed in a timely fashion, then that's when we're making sure that the needs of the students are met. And therefore, this streamlining through this bill is important and is a very efficient way to ensure that when it comes to our post-secondary education, there is no compromise. So in summary, the bill it's an amazing bill because first, the Consumer Price Index cap is moved from the regulation into the Act. This responds to student concerns around transparency. It ensures that Albertans, through their MLAs, will be part of any potential future debate on how tuition increases are regulated. There's a 10% cap on tuition increases for individual programs. The CPI cap applies to institutions. Tuition for individual programs may vary. We are putting necessary limits on how much they can vary. In at least one case, a program saw a 50% increase. New regulations around mandatory non-instructional fees ensure fairness and transparency. Such fees must reflect the actual cost to deliver services without any markups. Student associations will have to approve any new mandatory non-instructional fees. The market modifier mechanism is replaced with a quality-focused process. This mechanism can be used for a program of study once every 5 years. Proposals will be joint submissions by student associations and institutions and must show how additional tuition revenue will improve program quality. Proposals must ultimately be approved by the minister in order to be implemented. A new tuition guarantee will protect international students from unexpected tuition increases. Institutions must communicate to international students the exact amounts their tuition for each year of the program. These amounts will be guaranteed. All in all, Madam Speaker, this bill is adding security when it comes to post-secondary education, and we are making sure that our students feel safe and secure when they are signing up for the higher education, and we are making sure that we are providing our citizens with the right tools to have better quality life by making our post-secondary education more affordable and accessible. Thank you very much.